My guest today is Mekki ELMOGRABI. He's a Sudanese media consultant and press writer on African affairs. We'll talk about Ethio-Sudanese relationship and other pertinent issues to stay with us. Mekki, thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, hello again, and greetings to the Ethiopian people and the Ethiopian audience.
Yeah, greetings to you too, sir, and to the Sudanese brothers and sisters. Let me just jump right into the question. What is the relationship between Ethiopia and Sudan like as we speak? What have we made out of it?
Definitely now it is better than it was, and it is heading to better and better. But this is not the best level that the two countries and the two peoples deserve. We as Ethiopian and Sudanese, we deserve the best level of relation, not just the better and going to better. But thanks God that now we are in a better situation. I wrote and said repeatedly that unless we establish real economic integration, we will not reach our goals as Ethiopian and Sudanese. And I give very simple example. Why we as Ethiopian and Sudanese, we are brothers. When we come, but nothing in the law that proves that we are real brothers and we are real having advantage over other nation in Sudan, in Ethiopia. When we as Sudanese, when we go to Ethiopia, they call us Windimoj brothers. Ethiopian here in Sudan is a big community and very strong part from the labor market and services market. And we call them Windimoj also brothers. But when it comes to law, we find that this is just lips work, because when it comes to work permit, residence and business license, Sudanese is a foreigner in Ethiopia and Ethiopian is a foreigner in Sudan. We need something on the ground. We need the four freedoms to happen between the two peoples. The freedom of movement, the freedom of residence, the freedom of work and business, also the freedom of running, renting properties, something like that, that help the business to do. These things could not be achieved in one time, in one step. We need to do it step by steps, but we need the two brothers, Abiy Ahmed, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, and his brother, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. We need the two brothers, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, the president of the Sovereignty Council in Sudan, and his brother, Abiy Ahmed, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, to come together again and again and again, and the two government and the two and committees and delegations from the two governments to draft and to approve laws that bring the two peoples really together and to make the economic integration real. Another point which is very important, the people like me and you and very nice people from here and there, from the two countries, who see the relations between the two nations as top priority over other relations. Put line under this word, over other relations. Those people should receive more attention from the two governments, because they are the strongest defense line against any wave of problems or possibility of collapse in the relation. I'm proud to stand defending the Ethio-Sudanese relation for a long time, but I blame decision makers for not giving us as defenders for Sudanese-Ethiopian relation the attention and the support that we deserve. We deal with this relation as priority through tough times. We are different and we are special, and we should have special status. It is you should bring together the people from Sudan and Ethiopia who understand and believe that the relation between the two countries is something very prior and top prior.
Absolutely. Let me also ask you this question now. What is the foundation for Ethiopia and Sudanese relationship, which is, stood the test of time?
That is very good question, because when people start to talk about this question, they take long time, and we have different schools that giving the culture more importance, schools that giving the civilization and the history more attention, and schools that giving the economy and the common interest between the two countries more attention and more priority. But let us talk about things that is all people agree on or agree upon. People might talk about the Nile. We share the Nile, we share the water, we share the development, we share the dreams of having this Nile for the benefit and for the two countries. We have the culture, the music, the history, even the bunna. We share the same ceremonial things that happening when the family come together and have some coffee. I like that, and I participated in Ethio-Sudanese cultural events, but I prefer to say that the real foundation is that we share the same level of economies, the same challenges. And let me explain this. The challenges that is facing Ethiopia now, and the challenges that is facing Sudan now. People look at these two challenges as something bad for the relation. No, it is not bad for the relation. Why? Because we are facing the same challenges. That means we can come together to find the same solutions or similar solutions. When you and your neighbor are facing the same problem, the same disease, okay, you can come together to diagnose your situation and to exchange, to tell your neighbor that I use 1, 2, 3 and it works, and he will tell you he used 1, 2, 3 and it works. Sudan and Ethiopia are similar in challenges and problems, and this is why I advocate the theory of the priority of Sudanese-Ethiopian relation. Look at Sudan and Egypt. Do we have cultural heritage and common together? Yes, it's okay. But the problems between Sudan and Egypt are different. Okay? We have tribalism. They don't have. We have ethnic groups and armed movements. They don't have. They have another challenges. They have another alliance. They have another problems at top level of economies. But look at our problems in Sudan. Do we have armed group and militias? Yes. Check on the Ethiopian side. They have the same problem. Do we have ethnic groups and very deep diversity in Sudan? Yes, we have. Look at the Ethiopian side. They have the same. Okay. Look at the poverty, the nature of the community, the agriculture, the needs. We are facing the same problems. So that the integration between the people are facing the same challenges is more prior than the integration between people who have different challenges. Also, the size of economy. When a country that have an integration in another country that is bigger in the industrialization, this country will be melted down in the other one. But if you have the case of Sudan and Ethiopia and Kenya, they have the same size of economy or similar size of economy and similar projects, so that they can come together. So that this is why I say always there is a strong foundation, which is the cultural heritage. Yes, it's okay, but we cannot develop this cultural heritage unless we come together with full economic integration.
Despite the stronger, ties between Ethiopia and Sudan, as you know, there are some elements that are bent on creating some sort of discord between Ethiopia and Sudan, driving a wedge, so to speak, between the two sister nations. What are they up to? And what is the way forward?
Look here, first of all, we need to congratulate the two countries, the two leaders in the two countries, Abiy Ahmed and Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia and the head of the Security Council in Sudan, for coming together again and meet in Nairobi. And they don't need to meet outside Sudan or Ethiopia. They can meet even here or there. They can share the same ideas and the same challenges and solutions. And also we congratulate the two peoples because the local delegations or the public delegations that comes from Sudan to Ethiopia and comes from Ethiopia to Sudan, that happened before the government come together. So in this case, also I would like to appreciate the messages that Abiy Ahmed sent to the Sudanese people. It was a message from the heart to heart. And it was very timing because it happened in a time that there are questions in the minds of Sudanese people. But when they listen and hear from the leader himself, that is better than to listen and hear from other speakers. In the time of conflict, people like to hear things about the third party in the conflict. But let us talk about the ability of being affected by those evil elements and the third party. If we have no ability, if we are immune from this intervention from the third, fourth party evil elements, they will not attack us, they will not do any bad things bad for us, they will not affect us. How the two countries and the relation between them to have immunity system, strong immunity system against evil elements and the third and the fourth party and other interventionist parties in the world, and their tools on the ground, some militia groups, some spoilers on the ground, they are claiming that they are Sudanese, they are Ethiopian, but really they are tools of the interventionists in the world, because they are doing bad things to Ethiopia before doing bad things for Sudan. The majority are civilized and nice people and Ethiopian lover for civilization and stability, but still you have some evil elements. And I think Abiy Ahmed now is handling this issue in a good way. Now Abiy Ahmed is calling for the Ethiopian National Dialogue and Reconciliation. That is going on the ground. There is a committee responsible of this dialogue, national dialogue and reconciliation, and I think they have experience, they are wise, and also I do appreciate that Abiy Ahmed said that he's open for dialogue and for the sake of Ethiopia with all people and put lines under all people. He's a wise man and he deserves the better support from the Ethiopian people and from the regional community, including Sudanese people.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, Mekki, when it comes to the issues of Ethiopia and Sudan, I think I should ask you this question because there is this grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, which Ethiopia is building on the Afai River to lift millions out of the poverty line. With its firm stance of equitable and reasonable utilization of the Nile River. What are some of your stance as a Sudanese and also as Ethiopia, as a friend of Ethiopia in this regard?
Look here, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, I'm a person that stood for a long time defending the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. And it is a development project not just for Ethiopia, not just for Sudan, it is a model for African economies, because I belong to Africa and my career is connected with the development and the economy of Africa and the media on economic development in Africa. If you just Google my name with Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, you will find articles for even maybe 10 years, and still I'm writing on this issue. And I do believe that it goes and stops, but I think that the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is a project for the benefit of Ethiopia, the benefit of Sudan, the benefit of Egypt, the benefit of Africa. Sudan has a lot of benefits from the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, because this dam will stabilize the level of the flow of the water. And we need in Sudan the water in the winter, because the water in the winter going down, while it is the best season for agriculture in Sudan, and Sudan can make cash agriculture or cash products that can be exported outside Sudan to Europe, to United States, to other evil factors or evil actors in Sudan, in Ethiopia. Look at what happened in the United States. Some people who claim that they are activists and they are defending human rights and other things, they pressurize the US administration and the Congress to take Ethiopia out from AGWA, which is the best agricultural and trade relation between United States and Africa. So they damaged the relation between United States and Africa, and the relation between United States and Ethiopia before damaging Ethiopia. Ethiopia will have better markets and other markets, and always they have solutions. But look here, that means the agriculture, the water, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, there are international powers. They don't want it to be something big. They don't want the Sudanese-Ethiopian relations to be strong and to get the benefit of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. I visited the dam twice with delegations of journalists. I have a lot of memories in Ethiopia. I stayed in Ethiopia for 6 years, covering African Union, African events, and African development projects. And I'm still doing that as a part of my career. Look at the Ethiopian legacy, the Green Legacy initiative that launched by Abiy Ahmed. That is something wonderful.
All right, let me come to the current situation in your country, Sudan. What is the current situation there? What is unfolding? What are some of the new developments that you want to tell me?
Sudan has a transitional period. Definitely, in transitional period, something goes up and goes down, and then goes up and goes down for a longer time. Because this is, we can call it a reshuffle of power or shake of power in the community, in the political arena. Some parties were big, they're shrinking and being small, and then they are coming big again. Sudanese people, they have higher expectations for the activist that is coming to rule Sudan in the transitional period, and people who are outside Sudan, the diaspora in the United States, in Europe. At first, people in Sudan, they think that those people could be better than the former regime. So even the former Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok, he said that we have a problem in managing expectations. So we go to high expectation, so that we found that it is better to have an expert from the ground, someone from the civil service, or from the business community, or from the experts that he practiced his experience and his work in Sudan, better than to export someone who lived outside Sudan 20 years. Unless that has been proven case by case. So Sudan spent some time facing these things and this shaky situation. But now, finally, I think the Sudanese people, the Sudanese politicians, the Sudanese decision makers became more realistic, and now we have some initiatives that is calling for reconciliation and national dialogue in Sudan. Definitely, the government is calling for that, but in Sudan, because the community is stronger than the government in the history of Sudan and even the president of Sudan, we need something from the community. Now, as example, we have the initiative of some of the imams of Sudan and the sheikh in Sudan. His name is Tayyib Al-Jid. Is widely respected. He has an initiative under the name the People of Sudan Initiatives. Now he's taking big size of the political community and arena in Sudan. Other initiatives that happening from the other side. Some countries try to intervene in the Sudanese issue and to bring people together. United States or Washington, they try to bring the forces of freedom and change together, and they met in Sudan, but after that it collapsed. Nothing better in the relation between the Central Council, forces of freedom and change, and the other parties among the civilian parties. Why? Because I think when Sudanese makes initiatives to bring Sudanese together, that would be better than having big power like United States, because they are always having side in the Sudanese political arena, and they are classified that they are pro-X and against Y and Z. So for this very reason, I give more attention, and people should give more attention for the Sudanese local initiatives that bringing Sudanese together.
Also, as you know, Ethiopia has a lot on its plate to deal with internally with different issues unfolding. How can this East African nation get out of such issues?
I think the same is happening in Ethiopia, and there was very bad expectation in the world at first of the war happened that in the north of Ethiopia. Analysis and people started to think about dismantling of Ethiopia to states and things like that. But now the situation on the ground has proven again that in the Ethiopia, the government, the political parties, the wise people, and the real friends of Ethiopia are working for the sake of the unity and stability of Ethiopia, and the situation is getting better than it was. Also the same happening in Sudan. For me, again, let me bring you to economy. This is a good time for the two governments to open the border markets. People might say, no. There are some evil people and militia groups and out-of-law militias on the borders, and they are doing bad things to destabilize the relation between the two countries. Yes, I do believe that they are there, but look here, the philosophy of having border markets open and having the borders open, the philosophy is very simple. You bring the interest of the two people from the two sides together. So the people will defend the borders, not the government. People will put the evil actors in account because they are making damages for their local economies. Let me give you example from Ethiopia. Ethiopia have a very good example on the Ethiopian-Kenyan borders. There was trafficking in person gangs there was smuggling on the Ethiopian-Kenyan borders. But the two governments came together, and IGAD, which is the regional organization for development, they came together and they made good studies through the early warning or through the sea wall at first, and then they opened 3 border markets between Ethiopia and Kenya, and then they organize the trade. So people, they don't need to smuggle their goods. The trafficking in person, they stopped. The local communities here and there, they became against any bad elements or criminals on the borders. So again and again, the two governments, Abiy Ahmed, the Prime Minister, and Abdel Fattah al-Burhan should come together, hold meetings, technical meetings, not just political summits. They should establish joint Ethiopian security forces to secure the border markets and make them open again. The corridor of Galabad is open, but this is not enough. That is good just for the export and the imports between Sudan and Ethiopia and through Port Sudan, the main port of Sudan. That is good for that. But for the local communities, you need more work on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Also, let me ask you this question, sir. What is your take on the Sudanese transitional government vis-a-vis Ethio-Sudanese relationship?
I think the situation in Sudan, as I explained, it was a transitional period. In Sudan, the shake-up that happened in the transitional period affected many things, not just the Ethio-Sudanese relation. It affected even agriculture in Sudan. Look here, the dismantling committee, the committee that came to dismantle the former regime, they dismissed in one day almost 100 ambassadors from the foreign service in Sudan. Those ambassadors, some of them, they have long experience, perfect English, perfect French, perfect Spanish, Portuguese, perfect Swahili, Amarinja. We have wealth of human resources. If you have a problem with some people, you think that they are politicians, not ambassadors, that was okay. But you can come and make a blanket judgment for a big group of people saying that I don't want 80 or 100 ambassadors, I want them out of the service. So when things like this happen, do you think that it will not affect the Sudanese foreign policy? It will affect the Sudanese foreign policy, definitely.
Exactly.
And the Ethiopian-Sudanese relations is part of this foreign policy. So the decision maker will not have the same experts and the people with the better experience to give him the good recipe to solve problems. But now, fortunately, the Sudanese court bring those people back to the service, and that is also in the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Oil, the Ministry of Mining, the Education, all things that happen in Sudan. So Sudan went down for 2 years because of the dismantling committee, and that is affected many things, including the Ethiopian-Sudanese relations. But now you can see the results of for the Sudanese government, for the political parties, for the Sudanese people, of being more realistic and coming together. You find performance, and I hope that it will be better and better. I expect election will happen after 1 year, 2 years, but it will happen in Sudan because there is no solution for Sudan unless we have election.
Mekki ELMOGRABI, thank you so much for your wonderful ideas.
You are most welcome, and thanks again for the Ethiopian people and the Ethiopian audience, and let us go ahead and come together.
Indeed. Well, dear viewers, with that, we come to the end of today's program. Thank you as well for having been with us. Until I see you next time with another program, it's goodbye from me, Shparalak.